Welcome to another episode of the Go With Ego podcast. I am so excited because I have two special guests. But first of all, I have my co-uncle, my co-uncle Prince Chukwuemeka. Prince, welcome to the Go With Ego podcast. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hi, Ego. This is actually my first time on the podcast. I mean, most of the work I do for the podcast is behind the scenes. I'm sort of the guy that runs the show.
Right.
But yeah, it's really nice to be here and to actually get to speak. I'm looking forward to the interview.
Absolutely. So all the things you see, the growth we've had is this man right here, Mr. Prince. So Prince, thank you so much for all you've done for Go With Ego. Thank you.
Pleasure is mine.
Well, we have a very special guest, Anmol Gupta. Anmol is from India, but is currently in Hungary. Anmol, welcome to the Go With Ego podcast. How are you doing, my friend?
Thank you so much for welcoming, for invitation, and I'm doing good. I would like to share something first before we start talking about something serious. When you invited me for the podcast, I actually had no idea what a podcast is. And instead of asking you, because I was too shy, so I started asking around my friends, like, okay, do you know what is a podcast? And like, is it kind of like interview, or you have to like sit in front of a camera or something? Is it like kind of like interrogation or something? And they said no, it's nothing like that. Everything is okay. It's just some friends talking to each other and sharing the views about what's going on. Or just like, okay, it's like kind of like conversation you have with your friends in a bar or club.
Absolutely. So your friends did a great job in explaining what a podcast is to you. Just a bunch of people having a good time, talking about the topic and just giving their own opinions about it. Prince, what do you think?
I wouldn't say it's surprising because I don't expect that the whole world knows what a podcast is. There's always the unreached population of people that always need to find out about these things. And I'm pretty intrigued. I'm really glad that he's doing it with us. It's his first time. Absolutely. And he's doing it with us. So yeah. I couldn't be happier.
Yay.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm also excited. Actually, I have one more friend. His name is also Igor. He's a Ukrainian. And he does the same things. But I never understood that, okay, that's called podcast or something.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, I hope to listen to his podcast. Send me his link afterwards so I can check him out, okay?
Sure. It's in Ukrainian, if you can understand.
Oh, nope. So that's okay.
All right. I'm not sure if we can translate either. Okay, Anmol. So do you mind telling us something about yourself, where you're from, something exciting about you, your perspective on life, just basically anything that would give the audience an insight into who you are as a person?
First of all, my name is Anmol Gupta. I'm from India. I'm 29 years old and I am from medical background. I will be 4th generation doctor in my family. And thinking I have for living a life is that I don't want to be remembered just by my family. Like, when your family remembers you, or like the family you make, like your wife, your son, your kids, I want people to remember me even after I'm long gone. Like, okay, there was a guy, he did something good, and if I can do that, it will be really good. And the inspiration for that, it comes from my family, because they have always been helping everyone around. My grandfather, great-grandfather, father, mother, they always taught me to help as much as you can. And the only reason they told me to help is because you can. That's the only reason. Because you can. You are at this position that you can help someone. And help is not always on a big level. It can be a small help. Because some people think that, okay, we are not financially strong, or maybe we cannot do something, so they don't help at all. No, it's nothing like that. You can help from any level and on any scale. It's always counted.
I totally agree. I grew up in a house where my mom, the little resources we had, she helped the community, and she taught us to make a difference in people's lives, no matter where we find ourselves, no matter how much we have. And I'm grateful for your family and the upbringing you've had in being the man you are today. But what you said reminded me of the speech I gave 2 years ago in a conference. You know, I told the group of young people that when your community remembers you for the works you've done, the world has remembered you. You know, when your society, the people around you, the friends you keep remembers you for the little things you've done, trust me, the world has definitely remembered you. And so you're not leaving this world unknown. You're going to be known by so many people because of what you've done and what you're doing currently. So thank you for everything. Thank you.
No, it's just I'm just trying to be human. That's all.
Absolutely. There are so many countries in the world, you know. I, for one, I chose the US to come study. I told myself it must be the US. I know I was looking to get a visa to come to the US. I have a lot of cousins in Ukraine, but why did you choose to study Ukraine when there are so many other countries in the world?
There are two reasons. The first reason, the biggest reason, is like financial reason. It's really cheap to study in Ukraine as compared to US, UK, Canada, Australia. I checked everywhere, and it was actually really costly to study there. So Ukraine was better option. And second is like, okay, when you go abroad, anything can happen. You have no idea. So I was a little bit scared to go by myself. Then I got to know that one of my friends who lives near my home in India is already there. So on his basis, I felt a little bit confident that, okay, if there is some big problem, of course, like smaller ones you can deal. But you need someone if there is some kind of bigger legal, any kind of problem. So I was confident that, okay, he's there, he's going to help me. It gave me a little bit confidence to go there.
That's pretty awesome to know. I mean, most people have reservations when moving to somewhere new. You know, you don't know anybody. You're thinking about how you're going to settle into their culture. Most people experience things like culture shock. I know settling in is not the easiest of processes for most people. So I get that most people would prefer to move someplace where they either know someone or where they feel would be easy for them to settle in. And that's good. That's really good. So I understand you've been in Ukraine when you were in Ukraine for a while and you schooled there, and that's an experience I would love to have. So do you mind sharing with us what your experience living and studying in Ukraine was like? I mean, before the conflict started, how did you enjoy your stay there as an international student?
I came to Ukraine in 2014. And in the beginning, I was scared because I had no idea of the language, and how to speak to these people. And sometimes when you cannot explain to people something and they are busy, so they can be rude. So I was scared of that someone will shout and maybe it can be misunderstood as racism. I didn't want to do that. So for the first year, I used to stay with Indian friends in Indian circle, and we used to go out. But we actually going out always meant going to some Indian palace or Indian cafe, and going to someone's apartment to eat Indian food. So everything was like Indian around me. And I started thinking, okay, you are in a different country. You are in completely different culture. What are you doing with your own? You can get all these things when you go back to India. So that's why I started learning language. And strangely, I learned language really fast because I used to read something, I used to learn something, I used to use translator, but I always used to try to read. And people around me, they really helped me. First, of course, they used to laugh because a strange accent or something. But then they used to tell me that, okay, that's not correct, that's correct, that's how you say it correctly. So local people help me a lot. Like everywhere you go, it doesn't matter if you are regular there or not. The very first time you go there are always people, they teach you, they tell you like how it's correct. When they see that you try, so they feel really happy that someone from different country, different culture is trying to learn about their culture. So you just give them respect, you take respect.
Absolutely, and I feel it's the way you portray yourself to people. That's how people show love back to you, and it's always good if one learns the language of a place you go to, because it shows that you're willing to be like them, you're willing to learn from them, and be a part of the community. There's something genuine and there's something different about a foreigner that comes to a new city and learns the language. In the weeks leading to the conflict, what was your impression of the situation? Because we know in 2014 there was something that happened then with Ukraine and Russia, and so did you think it was going to be serious? Do you think what was going to happen, or just all propaganda still?
Yeah, okay. As you said, like in 2014, there was a war when I came here to Ukraine, and we heard the stories because we had like immigration of students. Lots of students came who were studying in Crimea, Donetsk, Lugansk. They came to Kharkiv, and we got to hear stories from them. But the problem is that when something does not happens with you, you don't understand. You cannot feel it. So we heard the stories. We were like, okay, it like we didn't mean it in disrespectful way, but we were not able to take it seriously. Then again the talks of war started 3-4 weeks before the actual war started, and it was really a difficult decision for me to either go back or stay here, because I'm about to finish my course in August, and it's my it will complete my 9 years of study. And if the war, like I was thinking, like if I go back and what if the war really starts? And so all my degrees and everything was in university, and I had no idea till like what time the war will finish, when it will finish, what will happen, and all my this 9 years will go to waste. So it was difficult decision, but I decided to stay. And when the war started, like on 24th of February, I remember on 23rd of February, I was with my Ukrainian friends. We were in a place called School Pub. We were doing karaoke, singing, dancing, drinking. It was too fun. I still have videos and pictures from that day. It was so good. And on 24th of February morning 3 a.m. I went home. I was trying to sleep, and 5 a.m. the first bomb dropped. And one of my friend, he is also Ukrainian in the army. He texted me, okay, bro, it started, find a safe place. And as I read, it was so like scary. I got so scared, because when I first heard this sound, I thought it was maybe something nearby, or because I have no experience of war, of course. And I got so scared. So, and one of my Indian friend, he was also doing post-graduation with me. He's in first year. He said, okay, what to do? What should we do? Would you like to go back? Or I said, I have no idea. I am coming to your home, and let's decide what to do. So for a few days, like I think 4 or 5 days, when the war started, we were at his apartment. His apartment is on 5th floor. A lift, of course, doesn't work in such cases. And the flights, there was no flight going out from Ukraine. It stopped. And every time there was a bomb or anything going around, we had to run from 5th floor, like climb down all the stairs with all the stuff, run to metro. Metro was like 5 minutes far from the building. So we used to run there with everything, food, water, blanket, whatever you can take, because you never know for how long you have to stay there. And the very first day when we ran to metro, we had nothing, not even food, no water, no blanket, no bed sheet, nothing. And that time it was winter, it was really cold. Inside the metro there was some air conditioner or something, which was, I think it's supposed to keep the place fresh air, something. It was too cold to stay there whole night. And somehow we stayed there for 3-4 days. It went like that. It was really scary.
I guess, because I have not experienced war. When the first bomb went off, I was watching CNN, and I saw how the CNN anchor ducked when he heard the first bomb, and he was so surprised. So I picked up my phone and I was calling my cousins. Hey, folks, what's going on? Nobody was picking the call. So I called one of them, and they picked the call. Like, how can you guys still be sleeping when bomb is going off in your country? Please get up from the bed and wake everybody up and find a way to go to safety. So I was freaking out being here in the US. I can only imagine what was going through your mind and how you were feeling, but we are both glad that you all are okay, because war is not what to pray for, but I'm glad you're okay. All right, well, we'll go on a short break. When we come back from the short break, Anmol will still be here. We'll get to know more about him and his experience in Ukraine and the good service he's been doing for people of Ukraine and everybody around there. Thank you, Anmol. We'll be right back.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Okay, we're back from the short break and we still have Anmol with us. So, based on your experience and your narration, I'm sure it must have been pretty terrifying having to run for your life every day, having to live through all of that trauma. I personally can't say I understand what it must have been like for you because I wasn't there, but there is the human part of me that deeply empathizes with you and with your friends and the experiences you've had. And I know it's not over, but I'm glad you survived and I'm glad you're in sort of a better place right now. At least you're breathing, and that's what enough comfort for us and for the rest of the world, for all the people for whom you've done a lot of good, because it's really inspiring to see that despite everything that had happened, you're still going strong and being an inspiration to everybody around you, the community you currently find yourself in. What I'd like to ask you now at this point is this. Now, at what point in the midst of all this chaos did you decide to leave Ukraine? And I'm aware that most of the exits were blocked. So what route did you take to leave?
Okay, first of all, when I decided was first of all, I told you that I was with my friend for a few days, but I got tired of running here and there, and because I realized that okay, this is not me. I cannot run for my life. I'm not this person, because it's always, I have always accepted, okay, when your time will come, you will die, so you cannot change that. So it's like it's useless to run here and there. I decided to help. I had no idea at that time what I should do to help, but somehow I decided, okay, I cannot be with them. I need to go back to my place and think what I can do and how I can help. I went back. My neighbor asked me, would you like to make some shelter with us? I said, yes, of course, please, let's do it. So I finally realized, okay, I have something to do. And after 2 days, when we were done with making the shelters, we cleaned the basements and put some water, food there. They bombed our building. And that time we all started running to the basement, and I realized myself that I was not running for myself. I was shouting and yelling at people, okay, come on, run fast, go inside, go there. And I was helping them with their bags, with their stuff, whatever they wanted to take in the basement. That moment I realized, after some time when this panic mode finished, I realized, okay, what I did, okay, that's me. That was me subconsciously somehow, and that's what I have to do. But on 4th of March, or I think 3rd or 4th of March, they bombed really heavy in Ukraine, in Kharkiv, my city. And me and one of my friends, Ukrainian friend, we said, okay, I think it's time to go, because if you want to help or do something, we need to survive. So we went to railway station. Going to railway station was also like interesting story, because there was a granny in my building. She also asked me, okay, how are we going to railway station? I said, I have no idea. There are no taxi, there is nothing working. So she said, okay, let's walk. And walking is like almost 10-11 kilometers far from my apartment. She said, okay, we will walk in the morning, no problem. I said, okay, let's walk. So we decided, me and this granny and my friend, that he will walk from his apartment and me and granny will go. We were walking. When we were near railway station, there was a huge blast, and it was so huge and so loud that the granny got so scared, she started running. I said, okay, you don't have to run, please calm down, because if like the bomb will fall on us, it will be useless running. We both will be dead, so it's okay. Like, okay, we are almost nearby, don't worry, we will reach soon. Then we went there. We were standing there from morning 7 till 8 p.m. in the evening, because there were no trains and nothing was there. And we were standing in a crowd. So you don't even have a place to stand properly. You are just hanging in the crowd. I remember I was not even on my full balance. I was standing half of the time on my toes, half of the time on my heel somehow. Then in the evening, there was a train which was supposed to go to Kyiv, but they extended it, so they took the train to Lviv. And one of our friends, we met us. Actually, we three were the same who were in the pub. I told you, what we were doing before the war. And we said, okay, let's meet next week. And it was exactly next week when we three met at the railway station. Same day, same place. It was so coincidence or something. And she was going to Kyiv. So she said, okay, I will take this train. And so me and one of my friends, we stayed on the railway station waiting for our train. Then she called, okay, this train is going to Lviv, come with us. And we ran. We were there, and the train was so full that the conductor announced that when there are 3 seats, 4 people should sit, and on 2 seats, 3 people should sit. It was so full. Me and my friend, we were lying on the floor. We were sitting there for 15 hours. It was so difficult because it takes from Kharkiv to Lviv 15 hours. So we went there somehow. We were on the floor all the time, sometimes standing, sometimes sitting. It was really uncomfortable. Then we reached Lviv. I stayed there for 2 days with my friends. They actually helped me a lot, and right now also they are helping a lot. They are providing humanitarian aid. They are doing a lot of stuff. And I tried to help there, but the problem is that when everything is not okay with you, you cannot help others. First, your life should be a little bit calm and settled. And I had no place to live, nowhere to go, no stuff, because I didn't come with any stuff. I didn't bring, because I thought, in case, what if they will be running or there will be some kind of crowd interference, then I won't be able to carry big bags. So I took a small bag. It will be easy to run. And I tried to find someone there to help, but it was not possible because they already had lots of volunteers. They said, no, you cannot, you are a foreigner. They will extract you soon and you will have to go home. I said, okay, I kept going. Then I got to know about Zahon. One of my acquaintance knows someone, then he knows someone, she knows someone. Somehow I got to know that there is a guy who needs help in Zahon, he needs volunteers. So I came here. I went from Lviv to Chop. Then on the Chop, I crossed the border. I came to Zahon. Then on Zahon, I had to wait 17 hours because of the registration process. It was too long. You don't know the language. You arrive in different country. Policeman comes to you. He asks you, okay, passport. I gave him passport. He does something with the machine, which I know now, of course. He does something with the passport and says police station. I said, why? What happened? No answer, because they don't know language. They have no idea. So they take me to police station. They do my registration. They take me to some other place. It was 2.5 hours far away from there. And they asked us to wait in the bus. But I saw this tent, which was for humanitarian aid. I got tired of staying in the bus. After half an hour, I went to this tent. I started helping. I started giving people out food, blankets and everything. Then they took us for registration. The registration was in 3 parts. We had to wait a lot. Then after 17 hours, I came back to Zahon. And then I met these people who were supposed to put me as volunteer. And from 6th or 7th of March, I am here. I am helping day and night, doing whatever I can, especially translation, with the bag, and providing all the information.
Wow, that's an amazing story. It must have been a great ordeal for you to got into where you are. But I have cousins that told me that from Kyiv they went to Uzhgorod, from Uzgrod, they went to, I don't know if it's Hungary or what other country they went to. Slovakia, yes. So, but I know that Kharkiv is where you were. It's pretty close to the Russian border. You know, I'm glad you're okay. Trust me, because we heard of that international students were unable to leave because they didn't leave in time or because they were scared. And I hope that everyone is okay. But I will say this: heroes come in different shapes, sizes, colors, language, you know, in different looks. What do you think, Prince?
I mean, I think it's pretty admirable, you know, you being in trouble, being in the same kind of trouble everybody else is in, but still choosing to stick out your neck to be the bigger person for everybody else. It's not a path that most people would take. I mean, we're human and we have our first response to danger or insecurity is flight. We all want to run. But then it takes a great deal of courage to just stand your ground and be like, it might be tough, but I'm going to try to make it better for somebody else. And that's what you're doing. I'm not sure how you got there, how you built up that mindset of trying to be a helper or a humanitarian person, trying to, you know, do the most for others. But I just think it takes a great deal of selflessness, which you've clearly shown, because I don't think everybody would want to be there. Most people want to be back home, you know, in the comfort of their beds, watching the chaos on TV. But then you chose to stay, and thank you, Anmol. Thank you.
I don't know. I'm just doing because I feel it. That's all. Nothing else.
Absolutely. You know, yeah, absolutely. You know, when Jessica Nash told me about your story, and I watched you on CNN on Matt Rivers had your interview from CNN. Yeah, I was so impressed. But the question I have, because you know, the Russian invasion has caused millions of Ukrainians to flee from Ukraine, not just Ukrainians, international students, foreigners to flee from Ukraine. But you decided to leave Ukraine, but stay at the Hungarian border to help and volunteer, to help refugees and volunteer at the humanitarian post there. So what made you do that? You said you were in the bus for a long time, you got bored and you came out. Not if anyone is bored, I would just go and get an ice cream or get a drink or something, but you were bored and you came out to help. So what motivated you to do that?
To be honest, I actually have no idea, because it's strange for me also that instead of going in comfort, I'm doing this. I have always wanted to help actually. And I have many plans for my future to help people in different ways and different kinds of people, because everyone needs help, like old people, orphans, physically handicapped, people like them. I have lots of plans for future, so helping has always been there, but this is something new what I'm doing. And when I came to Zahon, everyone was asking me, okay, so you're a refugee? I said, no, I came here as a volunteer. But they said, you came from Ukraine? I said, yes. And so you are a refugee? I said, no, I am not. Because I didn't lose anything. I was in an apartment of rent. And okay, things you can always buy. But if you see on the Ukrainians, they have lost their life. They have lost their family, friends, relatives. So they are the ones who are losing something. And I think I have seen millions of refugees here. I have met with them, talked with them, helped them, and I have so many different stories. But the only thing is in common is that they have lost. All of them have lost something. That's why I never felt like a refugee. I always felt like, okay, I came here as a volunteer. And the thing that kept me going is that I have spent 9 years with these people around. And now I'm becoming a doctor, like I will be surgeon in 2 months. I am supposed to help. So when the time has come, how I can just go run for my life, hide somewhere when people actually needs help. So I want to help, and as a doctor I'm supposed to help. So both things are like I will be doing exactly opposite.
What is your daily routine like as a volunteer? I mean, what are the things you do every day, you know, with regards to the people around you and the humanitarian effort you're currently putting out there? Can you just give us a brief insight into how it is like for you on a daily basis?
Okay, right now it's very calm because there are less people coming to train station. But there was a time when every day 3,000-4,000 people used to come, and I was almost the only translator there who knew Ukrainian, Russian, and English. So I had a help from local guy. He knew Hungarian and English. So we both used to be there. There is a tent which is set up here for people who needed this registration. So they all used to be there. We both used to be there. We used to organize the lines, like old people, the ladies with kids, like really like young kids, or some disabled person should go first, and then young ones can go a little bit later. We used to tell them what's going on, what will happen here, why you are here, because everyone used to be scared and in panic mode. First of all, they are coming from war, far from their home, leaving half of their families behind. And again, then no one told them what's going on because of the language problem. So they were in like complete distress, so upset, crying, anxious. And my medical background has helped me to calm them down because of the psychology thing I studied. So I used to talk to them, calm them down, used to tell them what's going to happen. They used to listen because, like, okay, I'm not being rude, but they had no other option because no one was there who used to speak their language. And now it's like way less people. So now my schedule is like I'm just there on the railway station. People come, like almost 300-400 people come every day, or maybe like 500. So we tell them what's going on, because now no one needs registration. They are just there. They want to know how to go somewhere, or which train time, where they should go, which platform, helping them with their bags, because they all are ladies, and old people with the kids, it's really difficult for them. And I don't have any schedule. I am just there 24/7. Earlier, I used to even sleep in the tent because we had the break in between the trains coming from Ukraine. So we both, me and this guy, Zoltan, his name, we used to sleep for 1 hour and next train came. Then we used to sleep for half an hour, 1.5 hours. That was our sleeping schedule. Sometimes we didn't even sleep. We were just there all the time. And we used to eat there, like we had like food coming there, we had our almost shower there, everything was there. Now it's like really calm. So I'm just there in the night. Nowadays also there is no translator, no volunteers, it's just me and sometimes 1 or 2 more guys, that's all maximum. In the night more help is needed because people are confused because of the train timings and because of the transfer they have to take, because of the passport control. So we just tell them what will happen, and and tell them about the food, if someone wants to rest, about the accommodation, if they want to rest for the night and go in the morning. That's what we are doing nowadays.
I know the hundreds and thousands and I dare say millions of people you've met and helped are forever grateful. I know in deep down in the heart they will be thanking you, or thanking the heavens, or whatever they believe in, that they met someone like you to assist them there. And so you said you're rounding up, you become a surgeon in 2 months, so congratulations, that's huge.
Thank you so much.
My own cousin is a doctor. Yeah, my cousin is a doctor there. He was a doctor working in Kyiv before the war, so he's now in Portugal. He's looking to return hopefully in a month's time. But yeah, so do you see yourself going back to Ukraine if and when the war ends?
Actually, I don't have any other option. I will have to go back because all my stuff, all my documents, my degree, my certificates, everything is there. And not only certificates from university, but certificates which I have earned in these 9 years there, from the conferences, from the sports I took part in, or from like all my medals, trophies, everything is there. And I actually love certificates a lot. That's why I always used to take part in all the conferences, national, international, all of them. Like once there was a conference, I remember I was the only English speaker person there who presented something. So I did half of my conference in Russian because I had good command of that. So they understood. Otherwise, they would not have understood anything. And I actually got first place and best oral presentation for the same conference.
Nice.
So all of these
Nice.
Certificates are there, and I don't know, for someone it can be just certificates, but for me they are my 9 years, my life, my hard work, my everything. And I will go back there for sure to get my degree, all the certificates and my stuff. I don't even have clothes here. I actually, when I came here, I bought a few of them, but everything is there. And my motorcycle is there. I love my motorcycle a lot. I used to work 4 part-time jobs in Ukraine, and I earned money and bought the bike. So it's also something big I bought for the first time in my life from my own money. I'm not leaving anything.
Right, I agree. You know, the hustle of international students, you have to hustle. you must hustle, because if you want to eat, if you want to get a roof over your head, you have to hustle, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
yes.
It's been really exciting listening to you, your story, everything, listening to what drives you, listening to your passion. I'm inspired by you, and I definitely would be looking forward to doing a lot more helping.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice. That's what I feel like. Yes, thank you so much that you invited me. And I think if someone will hear the story, maybe just one person will be inspired to help more, because this world needs a lot of help. So you can just go and help, like on any level. It will be really good. I'll be really happy if more people can start helping after listening to me. It will be so good.
We're looking forward to that too. So I'm going to sum up these last two into one. First, this entire discussion has been pretty serious. So we'd just like to take 1 second or a few seconds to talk about you. So before all of this started, what did you used to do for fun? Say after a long day at school, or lectures, like what did you do for fun? And 2, what are your hopes for the future about Ukraine, about your personal life?
Okay, for fun, I would like to tell you that I have a really good sense of humor. Nice. So with my friends, we always used to joke all the time for fun, and we used to laugh all the time. There is one more friend with whom I was running to metro. We both are really good friends, and we always we can go anywhere and we will laugh all the time, saying weird stuff about each other, insulting each other, in a funny way. And also with Ukrainian friends, I used to go out. We used to do barbecues a lot. I went to so many clubs, bars, but this is not fun. Just to be there, to see what is it, it's all new for me. And I used to go to English camps. We used to have these camps in mountains. We used to go for hiking. In summer, in winter, I learned snowboarding. And this guy who organized these English camps, Mike and Eager, they used to have this masterclass of bachata dance. I learned bachata. It's so good to dance. And I used to go to opera, ballet dance, to see in Ukraine, in Kharkiv, because they have these traditional shows. It was so good there, and you can just take a walk outside with music, which I love the most. And for future, I think, of course, I believe that if anything can happen, Ukraine will survive and will win. It will grow strong and better than before. And about my future, I don't have hopes. I have plans. I have aims. I have goals, and I'm sure that I will fulfill all of them. At least, if not all of them, I will not die with regret that I didn't do this, or I didn't try that, or I didn't complete something. I will be trying till the end, whatever I can, and as much as possible.
So it's been amazing having you here. I just want to say this, for everyone that will hear you and have heard you, I know they'll be inspired. I know they will go on to do the best that they can. I know they will go on to make a difference in society, because that's what the world is all about. If you truly want to enjoy life, you have to try your best to make a difference in the way you can. And Anmol, thank you so very much for joining us. Before you go, what do you want to tell anyone listening to you now, and your friends back home too? And do want to give anyone a shout out.
Oh, okay. I would love to say to everyone that break the chains of society, be happy, because in the end, that's what matters. If you are not happy with someone or something, just remove them from your life. It's too short to be toxic or to be upset or to be sad or and depressed about. Life is beautiful. It depends how you see it. And to my friends and my family, that yes, I love you all. I miss you, of course, because here sometimes I feel like I'm alone. No one is here. So yes, I would love to see them, meet them soon. I guess that's all for them.
Righty.
So Anmol, it's been really wonderful having you on the show with us.
Absolutely.
I if I could, I would definitely love to meet you someday in person.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, disclaimer. I'm coming to Geneva in November. So who knows? I can take a train and come to if wherever you are, if you're in Hungary or Ukraine by then, who knows? I'll stop by.
Awesome.
Oh, it will be nice.
That would be nice.
For sure. I will show you around.
Absolutely, I love it. I love
Looking
it.
forward to it.
That right. Well, thank you, Anmol, for coming on the show. Please take care of yourself. For everyone that's listening to Anmol, please do it to follow him. We'll put his handle here on social media, and please do it to share this podcast with your friends. To come again, I remain your host.
And I remain your co-host.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Have a wonderful time.